Prophecy, A Journey Home by T.B. Gull. Hello and welcome to the Toad World's ASMR channel. My name is Tobias Gull and I will be reading from my book, The Toad Prophecy, A Journey Home. I am so happy that you have found my channel. Please do comment, like, and subscribe. I would love to hear what you think about the characters in the book. Oliver Harrison is about to embark on a science summer camp expedition with his best friends. But where everything in his world is ruled by logic and science, he just hopes for a bit of adventure. What he finds lying on a shop floor unleashes him on a wild adventure which blurs the lines of science and magic. A small glass cube which sends monstrous creatures after him. But Oliver's trust in his old friend, a fortune teller, leads him and his friends into grave danger. Gadgets, which appear to be run by sorcery, will question his world's logic as he needs to figure out how to save his friends from the monstrous gremlins and solve the mystery behind the glass cube. The Toad Prophecy, A Journey Home, is the first book in a new young adult science fantasy series which features futuristic technology paired with fantastic creatures, as it blurs the lines between science and magic. Prologue. Martha stood in the middle of the pier. A red ribbon clip held her shoulder-length brown hair in place as she slowly looked from left to right. A stream of children, including her friends, entered, boats on both sides of the wooden dock. Their cries of excitement filled the air as they hopped onto the gondola-like boats, just like they did every year at the start of the Wolfbosch and Small summer camp for assured children. The youngsters were off to visit the fair. Martha also looked forward to visiting the fair. Her older sister had made it sound so exciting. Wondrous thrill rides, miraculously exotic sweets, and crazy-looking toys that were sold in even crazier-looking stalls. The fair sounded like a magical place, and since it was the first year at camp, Martha and her friends were going to visit the fair for the very first time. The first visit is the one you never forget, her sister had told her. But first, to get to the fair, Martha had to take the gondola. She stood frozen on the pier, unable to convince herself to join her friends who were cheerfully boarding the boats. On the outside, Martha looked no different from the other children. She wore the same camp outfit as her friends did: grey, half-calf knickerbocker trousers, a plain white shirt, and a grey vest bearing the Wolfbosch and Small summer camp emblem on the left side of the chest. But in the crowd of excited campers rushing to get to the fair, Martha, with her red ribbon hair clip, stood out like a red dot on a map. "Hello, Martha. Are you all right? Would you like to take my hand?" Martha looked up. It was Mrs. Hopkins, her camp supervisor. "I am," Martha stammered. She struggled to speak. Mrs. Hopkins smiled. "It's okay," she said gently. "Your mother has made me aware. But there's nothing to be afraid of, Martha. Everything will be fine." She knelt down in front of Martha and looked her in the eyes. "Come on, I'll hold your hand the whole way. Do you know that I looked after your sister as well when she attended the camp?" Martha looked at Miss Hopkins. "Really?" she asked. "Yes. Every year that she came here, she'll be very proud of you when you tell her about the fair. Come on, Martha," Mrs. Hopkins said, and held out her hand. Color returned to Martha's face, and she reached for her supervisor's hand. She was glad she didn't have to explain why she was so hesitant to go on the boat, especially in front of her new friends. Martha had always known she didn't fit in, but she didn't need it proclaimed to everyone. Together, she and Miss Hopkins stepped out onto one of the ferries on which Martha's new friends had already taken their seats. With Martha still holding Mrs. Hopkins' hand, they made their way to a wooden bench at the front of the small vessel, where Martha's friends had saved her a spot. She counted 24 other children, plus one helmsman who stood at the stern of the gondola, preparing to steer the open-top vessel. The boat looked a bit like a Venetian gondola, but this gondolier didn't look like he was going to break into song as soon as they pushed off from the pier. In fact, all of the gondoliers looked strangely emotionless, Martha thought. They all wore long, thick white coats with high collars that covered their lower faces, and white felt tricorn hats that hid everything but their eyes. As the little gondola departed from the camp, Martha noticed that the helmsman's eyes never wandered. They remained fixed on a space just a few meters in front of the ferry, lit by the faint light of a lantern dangling from the vessel's bow. This calmed Martha a bit. At least the person steering the boat was very focused. Then the lantern's light began to dim as the ferry entered a thick fog. Martha remembered that the fair island was often called the island in the cloud, as it was surrounded by a wall of white fog throughout the year. For most visitors, the wall of fog just added to the mystery of the fair, but for Martha, it added to her discomfort. Mysteriousness wasn't something she appreciated in her current situation. As the helmsman steered the boat through the thick, heavy fog towards the island, the children began to hear music in the far distance, faint but cheerful. The music was always the first sign of the fair, breaking through the cold, dense cloud of fog as it grew louder. The excitement of the children increased, and the boat filled with giggles, whispers, and smiles of anticipation. Slowly but surely the fog faded away, and the thick, damp air around the vessel turned chill. As they floated out of the dense fog, the light from the sun became blindingly bright. Martha held on to Mrs. Hopkins' hand as tightly as she could. She squeezed her eyes shut and hid her face against her supervisor's shoulder. Suddenly, she felt the floor of the gondola move under her. "Open your eyes, Martha. You won't want to miss this," whispered Mrs. Hopkins. Martha took a deep breath and opened her eyes, then let out a gasp of air. The gondola they were riding in, and all of the other gondolas, were gently sailing through the air towards the island, which waited up ahead of them in the bright blue sky. Surrounding them were a dozen of larger airships that bobbed cheerfully along. Martha took another deep breath. She was terrified of heights. She focused on a large golden ship just a few 100 yards behind them, a gentle giant of the air that was also making its way to the island. She knew the airship. It was the Troubadour, the air ferry that had brought her to camp only days ago. Focusing on the ship allowed her to relax again. It was something she knew, something sturdy and well built, something that would not just drop out of the air. But what Martha didn't know was that on the Troubadour there was a boy who would change not only her life, but the lives of everyone she knew, and a boy for whom she would risk falling into the deepest depths to save him. I hope you enjoyed the first reading from my book and found it relaxing. Please subscribe to my channel if you would like